Welcome to PitchSide Live. The players are, of course, in New York, which gave us a chance to look back at some of those wonderful memories. So on the show tonight, we'll be bringing you the live press conferences from our manager, Pep Guardiola. I'm hoping for something as fun as the one that he did before the Celtic game. And we have a press conference from Erling Haaland, the big man in the Big Apple. We're going to hear from him live as well. And then we'll have the live training session as well. And we've got FG and Shaun Wright-Phillips, who are pitchside. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, busy night. But before that as well, I have to introduce you to our two special guests today that we have in the studio. Now, first of all, we are joined. Now, I was trying to think. There is quite a few Stevens that have been linked with Manchester City. Obviously, Stephen Ireland comes to mind, Steve Howie. And I'm thinking about all of the Steves and Stevens that we've had linked, and Steven McInerney, and putting you in the top five. Top five City-linked Stevens.
I didn't think I deserved 10, but I'll take that, so absolutely.
Welcome.
That's going in my Twitter bio now, so thank you very much.
Top five.
City Stevens, you know, I think.
City Stevens, top five, Natalie Pike, 24.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
And joining Stephen, the GOAT, the original GOAT, who will always be my GOAT, of course, it is Shaun Goater. Hi, Shaun.
Hi, I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Have I ever told you, this has just come to my mind, that you know the phrase, the GOAT, when people say the greatest of all time, the GOAT?
Yes.
Until about 2 years ago, I thought people were comparing people to you. Like, when they were saying the GOAT, I thought it was, they're comparing them to Shaun Goater.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Yeah, exactly what they were doing.
Thank you.
That's how we'll have it. We'll have it that
about
way.
2 years ago, someone told me what it meant, and I was like, wow. It's okay, but
You're
that's
comparing Messi to Shaun.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you were right.
100%, always welcome.
You're going in the top two now.
Oh, well, there you go. Number one by the end of the night.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
How are you? I've not seen you in about 2 months, and I'm so excited to see you.
Yeah, I know. It's been really good. Had a nice little break. It's been good. Obviously, watching Euros and everything, been able to rest a little bit. Eat as well, you know. Eat the right things. But yeah, it's been really good. I'm really looking forward to the season as well.
Me too. And I know that you're excited as well about pre-season, Stephen, because a little birdie tells me you're a big pre-season fan.
I love it. I do not get any cynicism around it at all. To me, pre-season it's like anything's possible. You're never going to see the team that lines up in a game like this ever again. It's like you get a little snapshot of where the club is at in that moment of time, because you see these young players that you'd never heard of, a 70-year-old whipping across to Erling Haaland. It's just brilliant. It's very much football without any tension, without any narrative. It's just people enjoying football. And to me, I think it's great. Anything's possible in pre-season. I think that makes it so exciting.
I love looking at it that way, because it's
there's
so
no stress.
true.
Yeah, there's no stress, is it? It's great. It's just football.
I mean, I wrote it down somewhere, 14 academy graduates in the Celtic game we got to see. And for many City fans who don't watch the EDS or the academy regularly, you know, there is a lot of football going on in the world. It's hard to watch every single game. It's a wonderful chance to see them, but you've seen them up close and personal, obviously worked with them as well, Shaun, so you must be really excited to see them on this stage.
Yes, it's really good to see them. So, like, when I was thinking of having the conversation just a bit off air and saying that you see one or two of them and all of a sudden they're now winning around the first team, but their development and their progress has been really good. So to see some of the young kids and being and around Pep getting that information now of the highest level, it fills you with joy, you know, and excitement for them, because you're seeing them come through. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them get more minutes and let them show Pep exactly what they're about as well.
And some of them absolutely took that opportunity in the Celtic game. So this is our second pre-season. Tomorrow we'll play AC Milan, but of course the first one the other night was Celtic. So it's a narrow defeat, a 4-3 defeat. But, I mean, as Pep said, there were so many positives to take from it. And one of the big positives, obviously, was the standout performance of Oscar Bob.
Yeah.
He was so good.
He was absolutely brilliant. I saw a quote prior to the game where he was saying, look, this is the place he wants to be in Manchester City. You know, he wants to prove it here because it's the best place to be. And Oscar, it's great seeing a lad who was essentially last year the academy lad on tour become the main man. You know, he was one of the senior players there on merit as well, given his performances last season. Probably don't win the league without that Newcastle goal, for example. But he really stepped up, and you got the sense, you know, Savinho's coming in, another winger. He's aware of that. He's aware he's got to do something special. And what I love about it, assist from the right, assist from the left, a goal through the middle. It's just an absolutely perfect performance from him, and he was absolutely electric.
I loved it. I completely echo what you said. To see him coming and standing out, Shaun, it was so wonderful to see. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, it's beautiful because he's that sort of player, again, low sense of gravity. His ability to go right and left and go really sharp. I mean, one of the goals, you see how the fullback at the time must have thought, please, can you go on the other side? He goes left, he cuts back, he fakes. Eventually, he goes to his right. He just leaves him for dead and just sort of drives in. So his ability to take on players. And this particular opportunity here is, he gets fortunate, but those become the most difficult because you've got a lot of time to think. You know, do I take a touch? Do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? And Erling Haaland with that over, knowing that he's behind him, absolutely brilliant dummy. But again, he has the time to think. Can he put it on the far side? Can he go near post? Keeper gets a hand on it, and he does what he has to do. He gets it in the back of the net, so it's a good finish.
Yep, and on the score sheet straight away for Oscar Bob. And, of course, Maximo Perroni also got a goal in the Celtic game, and Erling Haaland. I imagine that the roar for the Erling Haaland goal, that's what all the fans wanted to see in New York, I'm guessing, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to see it over in Manchester, so he's an absolute superstar, isn't he? I mean, it's a bit of a shame for some of the fans because obviously so many players aren't available. But when you get to see an Erling Haaland goal assisted by a future superstar and his compatriot Oscar Bob, that's what you're there for, aren't you? You want to see the best people doing the best things, and Haaland, like, he's a man mountain in terms of his ability, his size, and also his character and, you know, his personality. Yeah, an absolute superstar, and it takes me back to a couple of years ago, you know, when he first joined and he got his first goal in pre-season. You're like, oh, when Jack set him up, and you're like, this is going to be fun, and it was, you know.
And it was.
Yeah,
fun.
It really was fun. Yeah.
I just noticed in the American fan behind with the beard there that really celebrated. I wonder if he celebrates like in big games when City score. But apart from the goal scorers, the 3 goal scorers, wonderful. I mean, Maximo Perroni as well, getting a goal as well is great to see. But the standout thing for me, Shaun, was the 14 academy graduates that featured throughout the game. So we made 9 changes at half-time, but Oscar Bob and Simpson Pusey played the whole game.
Yeah.
But 14 academy graduates getting minutes. I just loved that. Was there anybody else that stood out for you? Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, Luke Mbete, I like him. I have conversations with him at times. Jemai, if I got his name right, the centre back.
Yep.
He's very comfortable on the ball, and I really want to see more of him because he plays the game very comfortable. And it's almost as though he's got 2 or 3 more gears. And this is why I'm really happy to see him in and around the first team to be challenged and to be pushed. And the other thing as well, looking at them, obviously we conceded a few goals the other night, but that detail, the coaching staff will go through so that they can improve on. That'll push them. But Mbati, again, he's probably more of a leader because he's been around the first team a lot more, and he would have been the one that's sort of orchestrating the defense and talking and communicating. But it's just really good. And Dala...
so good.
The last time I was doing commentary, I was like, Ndala, what's his name? But I like him because he lovely little step overs, and what he'll learn is when to do it, when not to do it. And I think it was him that actually pulled the ball back to Oscar, who then delivered the cross for Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland on that goal, I have to say this, on that goal is little detail, but he's in the perfect position, and from a coaching point of view, the defender for Celtic has got his body shape all wrong. And Erling Haaland is able to just boss him because of where he is. And he's able to just hold him off enough so he can't go back further to flick it. So Erling Haaland is dictating that whole situation, holds him off, and then heads it in. So it's a little bit of detail around that from a coaching point of view in terms of defensively from Celtic's point of view, but from Erling Haaland's position is a brilliant position and a lovely cross as well.
Learned it from the goat, eh?
Talking about Erling Haaland there, it's like you've read our minds, Shaun, because he's just walked into the press conference this second. So we're going to go over now and hear from Erling Haaland.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. I imagine that not going to the Euros was hard for you, but at the same time, maybe your body needed that rest. Was it a bitter, sweet kind of summer?
Yeah, of course, I would love to play in the Euros, and hopefully one day I will be able to do that. But again, I had my longest break since 2017, so that was quite nice. yeah, my body is fully rested and ready for a new season.
How does it feel to have a break again after
What?
How does it feel to have such a long break after so long?
It felt amazing, and I needed it. I was quite tired, and yeah, it's going to be a long season this year as well, and I think it will be like that as long as I can think to. So yeah.
You seem to be someone that is always looking to perfect the details of your game. Is there anything specific that you're focusing on for the start of this season?
Yeah, a lot of things. Try to become a better version of myself, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I've said it many times before. There's so many things I can become better on. So I'm working on that, and hopefully I will become a better footballer, and hopefully I will become a better human as well this season.
How many goals as a target?
I don't think of that.
Martin.
Hi, Erling.
Hello.
Just wonder if you managed to watch much of the Euros over the summer, some of your teammates in action?
No, I didn't watch a lot, to be honest. I didn't think of football. There's enough of football in my life, so I watched a few games, but not a lot.
Did you see the final, and if so, who were you supporting?
I watched a little bit of the final, and I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. There's been quite a lot of talk, Erling, about Rodri, and he was player of the tournament, and now there's talk he could maybe get the Ballon d'Or in autumn. I mean, would he have your vote?
I don't think I'll vote, so it's not up to me, but in the end it's about some few players, and I think it's going to be really tight.
Jack.
Hi, Erling. You obviously chased down competition at the end of last season really ruthlessly, as City tend to do at the second half of the season. How much did that take out of the squad? How proud of that achievement are you? And how close do you think Arsenal and teams like that are going to be to you this season?
Yeah, I'm really proud of what we did. Yeah, last year was 1 point, so they were really close. But how it will be this season, I don't know. I don't really think of it, to be honest. I try to live in the moment and to don't think what's going to happen in May. I don't think that's a good thing for your brain to think of.
Do you think, like you've been at the club for 2 years now, do you see yourself as a better footballer to the one who walked through the door 2 years ago?
Yeah.
In what way?
Everything.
But is that, because obviously quite a lot of people have talked about you build up play, your link play, which look to improve last year. Do you think that's a sort of key aspect that you've worked on?
Yeah, as I said, I've been working on a lot of things, and hopefully I will become even better footballer this season as well. I mean, it's not a lot of room to train because it's quite few games, but now we get a couple of weeks to train on, so hopefully I'll become a bit better, and we'll see.
Just go to the back of the room, the cap, please.
George Martinez, Exchange FC. So obviously in the first year, you win 3 trophies. How do you possibly try to do more for yourself going into the next season personally and for a team? And now going into your second season, how do you try to maybe take a leadership role going into the rest of your time?
Sorry, can you ask again?
I said your first season, you guys won 3 trophies. Second season, it wasn't that. So how do you go into the next one to try to outdo what you did?
We won 3 trophies last season as well.
So what do you do in order to keep going and keep this level for you guys and for yourself personally?
Yeah, I mean, first year we won 3 trophies, as you said. Second season, 3 trophies. So, I mean, I was injured in the second season, so it was not the optimal way. But yeah, I think it's about thinking day by day, not thinking too far ahead, because I think it will be over 70 games if I play everything plus international football. So it will be enough games to think of. So it's about trying to perform in every single game, because that's my job.
Joe.
Hi, Erling. You've spoken a time about the amount of games and your injury. How much did the injury take out of you last season?
of course, when you're injured for over 2 months, you lose rhythm, you lose sharpness and everything you've been building up for. So it was tough, it was hard, and yeah, it's not easy. And I think we also in the Euros as well, of people in general, how tired people were. You know, you could see the level, you could see even in the people's faces how tired they were of football, if you can say it that way. And I think that's how it will be as well this season. Of course, not in the start, or maybe for some, because someone will not get a lot of vacation. But I think that's the way we're going now. I don't think we can be sharp in every single game. I think we can try, but it's difficult to be sharp if you play over 70 games a year. So you have to try to work with your team, with your coaches, and with all the people around you to try to become the best version of yourself, to try to perform.
Is there too much football?
What do you think?
Like watching football?
I love to play.
Just in the white top there, please.
Kill, congrats to Pro Soccer. Erling, you wore the captain's armband the other day. Can you just reflect on how that feels to leave the team in a match, and how it feels to wear the captain's armband in a game for Manchester City? Yeah,
of course, it's a proud moment for me, and I think we've got many leaders in this team. There's only one wearing the band, but there's many leaders on the whole pitch in a different way. So yeah, of course, a proud moment, and yeah.
Stay at the front.
Hello, Erling.
Hello.
Walter Munoz from W Sport TV in New York. The question is about how you feeling when you are at home watching TV and you hear you are one of the best players in the world, and all the people, they want to see you one day in the World Cup, probably in that 2026. How you feeling?
Yeah. What I feel, when we didn't go in 2022, I felt bad. When we didn't go Euros 2024, I felt really bad, and I hope that we can make it in 26, if not 26, Euros 28, if not World Cup 2030. I hope one day, one time in my career, I will be able to play competition with Norway.
Erling, welcome to New York. Rafael Bello from Desde las Gradas, from the stands in New York. Question about your health. Besides you being healthy probably next season, what does the Man City need to not only continue to win trophies in your league, but also to capture the most important one perhaps in Europe?
What I think Man City's been having. Huh?
What's missing to be that team?
I don't think we're missing anything. City's been close for the last 3 years. They've been so close in Champions League, and the 1 year we won the Champions League, and they've been winning Premier League 4 years in a row. So what City are missing? It's not a lot, because what this club has been doing for the last 6 years has been amazing. And yeah, in the end, in Champions League, it's about margins. You know, if my crossbar header goes in Etihad, it would be a completely different story, maybe. You know, so it's difficult to say. It's small margins and also in the Premier League. So I don't think we're missing anything, to be honest. I think this club has been doing amazing for many years now, and yeah. You should praise the whole club and Pep.
That success is noticeable in the Premier League. What would you say would be the key things that has made you be the team to beat in the team in the Premier League?
What do you call it? The stable. Huh? Yeah, consistency. As I said, this club, how consistent they've been for the last so many years with Pep, has been amazing. So I think, yeah, consistency is the key.
Final question, pardon me. Any expectations to be in the Legends field in New York, Yankee Stadium? I know soccer and baseball are not related, but any expectations of how you feel to play there?
Yeah, hopefully I will feel good when I step on the pitch, and hopefully I will enjoy it.
A question at the back there, please, in the back top.
Erling Haaland with the exchange. We talk a lot about the exchange of jerseys. What's an exchange of jersey that you've had in your career that sticks in your head? National team or with the club?
I don't know. I didn't expect the question, but I have a few, and I like to change jersey. But yeah, I've got many good footballers, but I don't know. I didn't think of these questions. I don't know.
Thank you, guys.
All good?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was Erling Haaland live in the press conference ahead of the live training session that we will be showing you as well. Very, very shortly, Pep Guardiola will be up as well. Difficult to hear what the journalists were asking Erling there. So we were kind of we've like played a game between us, guess the question, basically. But some of the standout things that he said, obviously at the start, he was asked about having a break, and he'd said that he needed a break and that he didn't watch a lot of the Euros, and he had a good break. And it was the first time he'd had a break in, I think he said 7 years. So, you know, to hear him talk about how he needed the break and how he's feeling good, that makes me feel good, Shaun.
Yes, and that will give him he'll have the energy of wanting to, you know, can't wait for the season to start. And it's important that you know, when you hear him talk about 70 games, if he's in terms of his international games and with City, if he could play somewhere around 70 games, having a rest is important because the demands, you know, that we expect from him. That are out there, the standards he set for himself. You know, we're looking for him to go out there. Every time we see him in his team, we're thinking there's a goal, there's 2, it could be 3 goals. And you know, he was alluding to how difficult it will be to be at a level for 70 games. So it's important that, you know, he has a rest and that he's well fresh for it.
Now, I was also really pleased to hear him get asked about Rodri, because Pep was asked about Rodri in his press conference before Celtic. And I say the more we're talking about Rodri, the better, because he was asked there, should he win the Ballon d'Or? And I guess you probably, Stephen, think what I think.
100%.
What I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
He's the best player in the world. He absolutely is. There's been no team better than Manchester City over the past few years in the entire world, which is crazy to say out loud, but it's actually true. Best team in all the land and all the world. And Rodri has been the heart of that, in my humble opinion. You know, he's been the catalyst, the stats, the big moments, the leadership. Literally, we do not lose one game we will ignore aside if he's on the pitch, and it's absolutely remarkable that he carries that into international football to win the Euros and to score winning goals in big competitions and games, and to do it with such diligence and maturity and class at the same time, and to be the best player, in my personal opinion, on the pitch, surrounded by geniuses, genuine all-timers. He's an astonishing footballer, and I think often players like Rodri don't usually get the headlines because they're not as fashionable, you know. He doesn't have social media, he's not a Brazilian winger called Vini Jr., which is so exciting. But any team wins with Rodri in their side, which is a crazy thing to say, but he's that good. He's redefining what a defensive midfielder is. He scores goals, gets assists. He's absolutely phenomenal and 100% deserves it.
So true. Not on social media, doesn't front big designer brands. All he's doing is focusing on his football, and that is extra points for me, Shaun. Is he the best player in the world for you?
I think he's got the best marketing team, and what I mean by that is himself when he plays. Yeah. He's just selling himself big time because...
Feet do the talking, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, he does it in his performance, and exactly as you said, you know, in terms of being a great defensive player, scoring goals, helping the team to keep clean sheets, his intelligence, it's just so many things. So he just, for me, I can't see how he just has to win it. He's won everything, and I love the fact he's just really humble about how he carries himself and how he is. He's a brilliant example to young kids as well.
He really is, and he has to. We have to keep talking about it because we know how humble he is himself. So I love that. Let's keep asking everybody, should Rodri win the Ballon d'Or? Let's keep doing it because he definitely should. And of course, Pep Guardiola was asked about it in his press conference before the Celtic game. He was also asked some other questions that got some fun responses. He was in a good mood, was our Pep. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Here is Pep Guardiola.
Pep, welcome to New York.
Thank you so much.
Just want to talk about a little bit about the reception you received from the people in New York. I saw you guys went down to Central Park yesterday, did a little training for the fans. Just want to talk a little bit about the reception and how the city's been treating you and you've been treating the city.
Well, the city's so cheap. Oh my God. Why is so expensive everything here? Oh my God. Yeah, people treat us as always really, really well. I know there's a lot of people in Central Park. It's summertime, so holidays, a lot of tourists. Well, I would say here's tourists in 12 months. They are really, really fine. So we are perfect in Columbus Circle, and New York is always a pleasure. The charisma of the city is difficult to find in any other part of the world.
Hi.
Hi.
When you go on holidays, can you fully disconnect from football? Can you make sure to hide from the tribunes, like reading the news or social media? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but you watch the Euros, some games, so disconnected cannot be possible. But yeah, I disconnect. Cheeky don't call me much, and this summertime transfer is so calm, so. And yeah, can disconnect. Yeah, always I said, not being with the players, always you can disconnect it. You have 2 days off during the season. You are not the players, you disconnect. So.
You said that pretty much the whole squad is going to be the same, and how the talk about renewing the hunger and the desire for the titles there is so admirable that you have been doing that for so long. Do you have to try to find new ways of talking to the players and renewing this?
We will talk. We were talking. We were together. And how is the aims? But knowing the players, I think they will not disappoint us, and they will continue to do what they are. So I know we are the rival to be beaten. So when you see 7 years, 6 Premier Leagues, and say it's normal. So everyone want to beat us. And the people reinforce and invest, and this is normal. We would do the same. We were in the other part of the road, but yeah, we see it's a long, it's 12-month competition. So, and it's try to, yeah, like you say, what we want to do. We just still, defend the crown properly, and if we lose the crowns because they were better, or give it away just for the fact that we won a lot in the last year. So. Yeah, we will see. I will see how they come back. There's some gestures, body languages, and we will see. Right now, I don't know.
Joe? Like that. Erling was just talking about all the games that he might play this season. He said it could be up to 70 with the national team. He said he was tired at the end of last season. How do you manage a player like that and keep him as fit as possible?
He has to rest more. If he's tired, go to bed early, eat better, and he will be ready. Focus 24 hours with football, and he will be ready. He will not be tired. Tired is always an excuse. So I push him to be incredible, more focus in what he has to do, and the way the staff, backroom staff, especially doctors, physios, and nutritionists, and all the people around to help the players, he can be ready.
Is this season going to be one where players like Erling and Rodri have to take rest in the middle of the season?
Erling has already rest. He was not in Euros. 1 month and a half rest. So he can be perfect. So Rodri had to rest. That's why he's still in holidays.
Just at the back, please, in the back top.
Mohammed with the exchange. So a little bit about the transfer market. You guys got Savinho. Is there anybody else that in your mind to add to the squad? And
right now, no.
That would be coming out?
Right now, no. I wish for the bottom of my heart Eddie continue with us. Replace Eddie is so difficult. Of course, what I said, it depends on him if he wanna. But I would love his stay, because I cannot imagine our process, our success these last years without him. And he's an important figure in the locker room, in the presence, and many things. And hopefully, it will be a good sign for us. But if someone leaves at the end, maybe. But if no one leaves, I think we'll stay like we are.
Then, is there any other players joining the squad at a later date of the tour?
No, I don't think so. everyone is joining us back. I give extra days when we come back to Manchester.
Martin? Yeah.
You have 4 players playing in the Euros final. Do you know when they'll be back with you? Have you given them sort of...
As late as I said to them, come back when you are fine, when you want to come back, when you have a desire to touch the ball again. If you don't feel it, stay at home, because it's so long. So, but I guess will be, I don't know, before Community Shield, a few days, or after Community Shield. So, there's a plan. So, we'll have to rest them. Like Premier League, UEFA, FIFA don't think about them. We'll have to do the managers.
You mentioned what a long season it's going to be. Sort of City is back here next summer for the Club World Cup. Do you want to be in charge of that? I mean,
I would love to. I would love to.
You will be.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be played because I know the mess about FIFA and the clubs or wherever. So let everyone defend his position, his tournaments. But if at the end, like apparently is going to happen, it's going to be played, and I would love to. Yeah.
Buenas tardes, Pep. A few years ago, you took a sabbatical year to live in New York. Just want to ask you what memories you have from back then, and what does it mean the city of New York for you?
Well, I said before. So it was a lovely year, especially for my family. So my kids, it was so kids. So that's why I learn English and it was a really good experience. So it's so attractive because there are many things to do, and it was a really lovely year.
Up at the back there.
Only 4 weeks between the Euros final and the Community Shield. How difficult is that to prepare with players coming back at different stages for the upcoming season?
And the proper preparation is impossible. So that's why you cannot demand when they are exhausted. You cannot train, demand them properly. So that's why they have to be fresh in the legs, in the mind, and after they come back. But today before, when I start to be manager of a football player, have 5-6 weeks to prepare, the first Community Shield game. Now it's impossible. So because the season, look, we're going to finish, we start the 50 June, we just in case we arrive at the last stages of finals for the World Cup in the States, so we finish 50 June, so 12 months. So 12 months, really. So that's why come back when you won. I know the beginning of the month, first games of the Premier League will be really tough because we will not be complete, but hopefully we cannot draw much points, stay there, and go month by month, being there, and see how far we arrive.
For the players that were involved in the latter stages of the Euros, is there an emphasis on individual training while they're not in the group?
Yeah, we suggest. We suggest before arrive to do something, but the same, to feel it. I think I'm more concerned about how they come back in terms of drain. Still energy is back, and I'm happy to be in the locker rooms, in the training sessions, start winning games. Come on, come back. More than welcome to embrace our hugs, to you. But I don't want them to come back when they are exhausted still and remember last season and they are tired. It's better stay at home a few more days.
Jack?
It sounded towards the end of last season that you said you were closer to leaving than staying as manager. But what you said at the consumer event yesterday about if you love the job, you just carry on.
No, I know maybe I was not correct to say in the right moment when we won the Premier League, but I'm saying that I've been 8 years in Man City, so I'm not be 8 more years. So that's why I'm more closer to leave than stay. But I didn't say I'm leaving. So never ever I would say when I'm leaving I would say I'm leaving, but I didn't say. So that was my approach. Maybe I was not correct to say, or that was my feeling right now. So we spoke with the club and said it's a lot of years, so we'll see what happens. But I not ruled it out absolutely to extend the contract. So when I said to Samuel, so I would love to stay because I would love to stay. So that's why I don't want to happen. I want to deny my feelings. I want to see my players. It's 9 years today in the same club. It's an eternity. And I want to be sure it's the right decision, not just for me, for the club. It's the right decision for the players. it's still they run like they already ran 8 years. It doesn't matter the competition, it doesn't matter the tournament, and this is what I had to see, and that's all. But that's pretty sure 8 more years I will not stay, because it's not. I think it's good to refresh, the players, the managers. But at the same time, we had success, still winning Premier League, still arriving last stages. When we are defeated in tournaments important like Champions League with a good prestigious, the way we are already defeated. So this is my feeling right now. So.
Have you given yourself a sort of time limit on when you would want to decide? Just because things happened with you last year, the time of the announcement might have sort of had an effect on the Liverpool season. Have you given that consideration?
I no consideration because they didn't decide I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, I just mean like, is there a point in time where you think I need to decide it right now?
Well, when they decide, okay, it's over. So first of all, we're talking with my sport director, my chairman, my CEO. That's the first. So I will never do one step without my team, my club, don't know it. So I'm incredibly grateful. Too much. I think we don't want to make a step like could cause a problem. In the way, I do it, and what's happened, we will talk with the best, because I don't know what is the best. So it doesn't mean doing it in that way is perfect, doing it the other way is perfect, or maybe in a few months they extend the contract. So I don't know. What I said after at the end of the season, okay, start the season, how everything is going, how connected we are all together again, and after we see.
One more before trading, please, guys. Sport TV.
Can we make the question in Spanish? Mr. Pep Guardiola, para mí es una gran bendición. Le habla Walter Muñoz, periodista deportivo de W Sport TV. La verdad que quiero felicitarlo, porque cuando hablamos de los técnicos más importantes en toda la historia del fútbol, usted está ahí. Para muchos, el mejor. En lo personal, el mejor.
Muy amable.
¿Cómo se siente usted de escuchar eso y que todavía tiene tanto por brindarle al fútbol y que quisiéramos que nunca se retirara? Y no quisiera abusar y preguntarle si en el futuro usted tiene en su mente de pronto tener la posibilidad de dirigir una selección nacional y poder disputar una Copa Mundial y ganarla. Muchas gracias.
Y yo se lo agradezco, sus palabras. El éxito de los entrenadores depende de las cualidades de los clubes que uno está. Y he estado en 3 clubes extraordinarios y jugadores de otro nivel. Evidentemente, esa es la razón por el éxito que hemos tenido, y ya lo dije el anterior y hace mucho tiempo que lo digo, no sé cuándo, si será en 2 años, 4 años, 6, 8 o nunca, pero sí, me gustaría entrar en la selección en el futuro, pero no sé cuánto. Estas cosas, nunca pensé que entraría al Barcelona, nunca pensé que me iría a Alemania, aprender alemán y estudiar y jugar en la Bundesliga, nunca pensé cuando empezara vendría a Inglaterra, por tanto, lo que me depare, bienvenido sea. Y si no pasa, es porque no tiene que pasar. No me pongo muchas expectativas en este sentido.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That was Pep Guardiola speaking. In the press conference before the open training session, which will be taking place very, very shortly, we will bring you that live as well. We have FG and Shaun Wright-Phillips standing pitchside waiting for the players. But that was very interesting, wasn't it? I'm loving these Pep press conferences in America. He gave us some real nuggets. I mean, this is the stuff that you saw there. That is headline sports news tomorrow for papers around the world. And you've just seen it live. We immediately have to go to his comments about staying. He says he wants to be in charge for the FIFA World Club Cup next year. He'd love to be in charge. That is June, July. So that is beyond his current contract. He's saying he wants to be here. I mean, music to your ears?
Absolutely. Look, I'm just a Manchester City fan. I don't know anything other than what we know here in this room. But surely you would, if you wanted a new manager, you'd want them to be involved pre-season and all that kind of stuff. And that would leave no time, logically, if Pep was involved there. And Pep, look, if Pep wants to be involved in that, he's the greatest manager in the history of our club. He's an absolute legend, an icon. The players love him. They're there because of what he's achieved. It has to be him. He has to be given that chance. And that, to me, that is absolutely music to my ears. It's everything I would want to hear. And it's incredibly exciting because You know, if it shows that he's already literally thinking beyond his contract. That is, you know, the next step after that. So yeah, I'm very excited because that's it's treading new ground. It's a brand new competition, and hopefully we'll be led into that by the greatest manager, in my opinion, of all time, not just Manchester City, of all time. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I love that he clarified the comments about being closer to leaving than staying, when he sort of repeatedly said, I've been here 8 years, I'm not going to be here another 8 years. Obviously, that's a little bit heartbreaking to hear, because I would quite like him to be here for another 8 years.
You never know. Yeah.
But he clarified those comments, and those comments have been repeated from people saying that he's leaving, but he's really made a statement there, Shaun. It was so good to hear.
Yes, it is. I think outside of this club, I think people will want to jump on it to look for a negative part from it. You know, but again, he's just cleared it up for being saying less. He's probably not going to be here for another 8 years, but that doesn't mean he could be here for another 4. It could mean he could be here for another 4 or 5. So I think people on the outside are wanting to look at the negative. Well, is he gonna stay? You know, but I think that's really interesting, and it's brilliant to hear Pep say that he'd want to be a part of leading the team following season. So this is absolutely brilliant. He looks so relaxed. You know, and I like the honesty of, I want to see the players. I want to see the, you know, see their eyes and see the, you know, the fire in their belly, how much they want it. And this is coming from the best manager in the world. And I think he knows, he's been in the game long enough to know that he wants to look him in the eyes and go, I know you've won. You've won all that you've won, you know, what, six Premier Leagues in the last 7 seasons. You know, do you want to do it again? You know, and he was speaking and he was saying about, you know, or do we just want to give it away? He's such a winner. And he's like sending signals to the players like, we're not here to give nothing away. We're here to make sure that we can win it again. So I absolutely love him.
We're so lucky as City fans to have all this footage from behind the scenes, you know, all the documentaries over the years, the in-house ones, you know, Netflix and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. And we've seen these wonderful insights in what Pep's like as a manager. And you can tell he's been sincere when he says he looks the players in the eyes and sees what they've got from him, essentially. And City have this incredible ability to find these players that are hungry, you know. They bring in winners that fit into the squad harmony so well. So I do think Pep's telling the truth when we see him say in press conferences that I want to see what the players have got for me, essentially, you know. Is that chemistry there? Are they still hungry for it? Have they got that sense of victory still? And I think they will do, you know. And I think as long as Pep's being challenged that way, if there's new players coming in to excite him, you know, what's more exciting than, you know, like people like Savinho coming in, a Brazilian wonder kid, you know. I think that does get him going. And I think that ultimately it will hopefully be the deciding factor for him. He's smart enough to know he's at the best club in the world, you know, a club that will give him what he needs to achieve. And he can look around and, you know, other teams, and you think, well, they haven't got anything what I need. And I do honestly feel it's going to come down to one day he'll look at his team, his squad, you know, at some point during the season and go, yeah, I'm enjoying this or not, but I think he'll be enjoying it personally. And then he'll make a decision to stay. I really do feel that way.
I am so happy about those comments. Other comment that he made, which was really interesting, obviously we've all heard the rumours about Ederson in the last sort of few days, and the links away from City. And to hear Pep say there, I want Eddie to stay. It is down to Eddie. He is a big part of the club. Pep's really laid it out there that he wants him to stay. Yeah,
and you know, as a player, that's what you want to hear. Yeah. You know, so Addison will be at home and somebody in his family, if he hasn't heard it, somebody would have said, did you hear what Pep said? He wants you to stay. And that's what you want to hear as a player. You want to hear that your manager wants you. He wants you to be a part of things. And I think Addison will be, okay. Addison will be thinking, okay, I want to stay. I think this helps Addison's decision if there was a difficult decision for him. I don't think so. But I think if there was, he'll be thinking, my manager wants me to stay. This is brilliant. It was a brilliant, loved that press conference from Pep Guardiola and from Erling Haaland. Now, we are going to get to see the players training live now. We have got FG and Shaun Wright-Phillips, who are living their absolute best lives out in New York, and we're going to go over to them now.
Hey there, well, here we are at the CFA, and it's with great pleasure to say I'm joined by New York City's Santiago Rodriguez and translator Olivia. First things first, let's talk about the facilities here at the CFA. We're looking behind us, it looks exceptional, the weather's nice. What's it like to train here?
la facility y todo, cómo es entrenar aquí, es un lindo día, cómo es su experiencia entrenando.
No, bueno, muy lindo bueno, recibirlos a ustedes acá, es muy lindo, el clima también muy bueno para entrenar, nosotros la pasamos muy bien acá entrenando, nos sentimos muy bien y bueno, la verdad que es un placer tenerlos acá todos ustedes.
First, he wants to welcome you all. It's beautiful to have you all here, training the facility. He enjoys it a lot, and he's just happy to be able to experience that with you all today.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely beautiful to be here as well, so thank you so much. Let's talk about the comparisons between New York City and Manchester City. If City fans are looking at this, probably thinking what type of player you are, who would you compare yourself to at Manchester City?
Comparando los dos teams, los dos equipos, si tuviera que comparar con un jugador de Man City, ¿cuál?
¿Yo?
Sí.
Bueno, no sé, sinceramente es muy complicado porque bueno, son jugadores excepcionales, otro nivel, pero bueno, creo que me asemejaría más a lo que sería Phil Foden, que me gusta mucho cómo juega y bueno, nada, creo que sería lo más parecido, pero es otro nivel.
He said it's a very tough question because it's, you know, different league, high level of play, quality. But if you would have to pick, it would be more like Foden, like Phil Foden.
Well, City fans are definitely going to enjoy watching you play then because Phil Foden's exceptional, and we're sure you are too. Let's talk about the game against AC Milan. City are playing here in New York against AC Milan. Of course, New York City have grown so much, but the Manchester City fan base in the US is huge as well, isn't it?
El juego mañana contra AC Milan, claro que Man City sigue creciendo, sus aficionados y todo. What was the last part of the question?
So we're playing against AC Milan, and the Manchester City fan base in New York has really grown a lot.
Yeah.
Very much like New York City, and that's that been evident.
Yeah, como están creciendo como nuestros fans también.
Sí, bueno, no, para la gente de acá es muy importante que el fútbol se acerque un poco más, porque bueno, acá todavía les falta un poco de esa cultura futbolística que tenemos, bueno, en Europa o en mi caso Sudamérica, pero bueno, va a ser algo muy lindo de bueno ver a este tipo de jugadores que no están acostumbrados a verlos en vivo y nada, la gente creo que lo va a disfrutar mucho, lo va a apreciar y nada, nosotros también que estamos acá un poco lejos, digamos por así decirlo, tenerlos acá es una buena oportunidad para verlos y bueno y disfrutar de su trabajo.
Yeah, so having two big teams like that come, it helps to grow the fan base here too. A lot of people cannot experience a game of this magnitude here in the U.S., so it's just very exciting to have them here, and I think he thinks it helps also like kind of grow the game and the presence here in the U.S.
And finally, there's a huge game for New York City coming up, a massive game against a team from Mexico. What are your expectations for that game, and how important is that competition for the club?
El domingo tenemos el juego de Leagues Cup contra un team mexicano. ¿Cómo se siente antes del juego del domingo?
No, bueno, muy bien. Es una linda competencia jugar contra equipos de México porque tienen un nivel diferente. Y bueno, comparando lo que decía de las similitudes con el fútbol de acá, con el de Europa es diferente, o sea, no le falta un poco de cultura, entonces jugar contra equipos mexicanos a nosotros nos ayuda mucho y nada, es un torneo muy bueno que tiene mucho prestigio para lo que es CONCACAF, entonces bueno, creo que va a ser un lindo encuentro.
He's very excited to play with the Mexican team, similar to what he was saying about like playing with, you know, watching an European team, like the different quality. There's different qualities in the Mexican league, and to be able to play with another team from that culture, it's exciting and it's a great league. It's a great competition, and it's just looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. We wish you all the best. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Before we head back to the studio, that's exactly what my hair should have looked like, but unfortunately it didn't come out quite as good. But let's head back to the studio.
Thank you very much to FG. Now, obviously, that was not Shaun Wright-Phillips. That was Santiago Rodriguez, one of the New York City star players. And obviously, you could tell that wasn't Shaun Wright-Phillips because that guy is tall. So that is the only difference between the two of them. We're going to go back over, though, very shortly to FG and to Shaun Wright-Phillips. And also, FG is going to find some other New York City players as well. But I loved hearing that and thinking about the connection between what it means for a club like New York City to have AC Milan and Manchester City playing in their city, and how that will help to grow the fan base in America as well, because obviously that's what a big part of this is.
Well, you forget they're still a relatively new club, you know, and to have these teams, genuine, you know, legendary, iconic teams. Obviously, it all leads into the City Football Group and so on. But of course, it will. It'll help, you know, the sport massively in New York. Such a passionate, multicultural, vibrant, you know, city. It absolutely will help, you know, the city of New York. And it'll be, as you saw at the top of this show, you know, the fans there, obviously City fans, are so passionate about football. It's not soccer, it's football, I'm sorry. Passionate about that, but they're so passionate there. That to have these teams come to their home, yeah, they deserve it. They absolutely do.
Nico Riley is tall, by the way, isn't he?
Tall, he's very
when you see him like next to the other players.
His hair's 2 inches as well.
It does, yes. He's very, very tall. OK, we're going to go back over now live to New York. FG has found 2 other New York City players. He has Berk Riese and Matt Friese. I wonder if he's got any other hair jokes for them. Let's find out. Let's go to FG.
Yeah, thank you very much, Natalie. I mean, I'm on the hunt today. I'm doing really, really well. We've got Matt Friese here and we've got Berk Riese. We've got a man who's a goalkeeper and a man who's actually got an interesting story, because you've played with one of Manchester City's players who are here on tour. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, I played with Erling in the under-21 national team of Norway, so I have some games with him, and yeah, I'm really happy to see him again and see how he's developed to the best striker in the world, so yeah.
Have you had a chance to catch up with him as of yet?
I saw him a little bit like straight before training, so we'll see after if I get the opportunity to catch up with him.
Oh, amazing. Matt, let's talk a little bit about you then, shall we? Let's talk about, we've seen the facilities, how good they are here and how good the club's growing. As a goalkeeper at the club, do you have, like, what are your expectations for the season going ahead? There's a massive game coming up at the weekend as well.
Yeah, big game coming up this weekend. I think expectation for the season is just finish as strong as we can, be in that top 4 position leading into playoffs, because obviously we have a playoff schedule here.
Yeah, we're 5th in the league so far, but the game at the weekend, like, let's tell the people who are watching on Match Day Live the magnitude of this, because it's history for the club to be back in that tournament, and it's a team who are not from the MLS you're playing.
No, we're playing a Mexican team, so it's a big game coming up. For sure, it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, I think if we continue the way we've been playing this season, we got good opportunity, especially home here in Yankee Stadium. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, tune in.
Yeah, absolutely. Do make sure you tune in. Matt, I want to talk to you about the temperatures here, because it's extremely hot. We're stood still at the minute, and you guys have got to play in such hot conditions. How do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, you got to drink a lot of water, I guess. I always carry towels around, stuff like that, but it definitely gets toasty out there, especially in some goalkeeper uniforms with the long sleeves and everything.
What about Edison and Stefan Ortega? Have you had the chance to watch much of them? Of course, with City and New York City being so close together, do you ever look at them and sort of try and learn from them?
All the time, trying to learn from them. Both of them are so amazing, especially with the ball at their feet, and the way the game is going. And it's incredible, to watch them and see what they can do. So I always try to learn from people like them.
And the club here also try and play very much in that same style, out from the back as a goal. Like, how do you adapt to it as a goalkeeper? You're very good with your feet as well, and it's very, very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super important. It's been a quick adaptation period. I came here a year and a half ago and really did not know how to play with the ball at my feet, so had to learn very quickly, had to learn on the fly, and guys like him really make it much easier.
Yeah, Berk, I mean, a little bit more about you. Of course, you've played with Erling before. How are you finding life here in New York?
No, I love it. It's, of course, the facilities, the club, organization is top, so yeah, we have everything to develop in the right direction, and of course the city is also fantastic. So yeah, I'm really happy being here as well.
Let's have a final word then on Erling Haaland before we head back to the studio. When you played with him, did you envision that he'd be at the level he is now?
Yeah, I still remember my first game with him was against Germany in Germany, and yeah, you could see he had something different. So yeah, I'm really happy seeing him and the way he's gotten his game, because it's it's just next level. It's a different level.
Yeah, well, listen, we wish you all the best for the game coming up, and thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of today. We're going to head back to the studio.
That was FG live in New York with Bert Grieser and Matt Fries. We're going to go back over very shortly and show you some of the live training that is going on. You could see that in the background as well. I love the live training. Oh, there we go. There's some live training. And there is Erling, the man that we were talking about there. You can see Calvin Phillips. There is Rico Lewis as well. Loves and there's Mateo Kovacic. So Mateo Kovacic and Josko Vardiol have joined the training in New York. Obviously, Croatia went out in the group stages, which is why they are there a little bit earlier. So they joined up with the squad yesterday, I think it was. So they are there for the open training, and they will be part. Where's Gvardiol? We want to see him somewhere. There's Jack. Love these training sessions, Stephen, especially being able to watch the way that the young players just effortlessly fit in.
The irony of you stumbling over that word, yeah. No, you can tell that some of these people, these young lads, they've been doing it since they were 7, 8 years old. It's part of who they are, and that obviously that DNA it runs for every age group, and obviously it runs across the ocean to New York as well. They've all played the same way, and look, there's
Josko in the background. We can see him. That's our first glimpses of him this season.
Yeah.
Hey.
You can tell that they know what they're doing. It's part of who they are, and it's why you see every now and then a young player like Oscar Bob or Rico Lewis or whatever, Phil break through, and it just comes so easily for them. They're such talented footballers, but a large part of what comes with that is the coaching and the high level of organisation and structure, being able to express himself with that, and obviously, of course, Shaun, he runs through the women's team as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, this is what improves the technique of the players. They're always spending 10, 15 minutes of doing this in part of the warm-up and everyday training. And again, these are very close. So even though you see these players in the middle trying to get the ball, this works on the technique, it works on their decision-making, receiving. It just helps. So when they go into the bigger part of the session, their first touch, their awareness, their decision-making, it all comes out in something like the rondos.
We say we can see Gvardiol there in the background. So nice to have him and Kovacic joining up with the squad now, to have a couple of those extra sort of really well-known, big-name players out there for the American fans as well as for us to see as well, Shaun.
Yeah, I think the young players who are obviously with the first team, it's good for them as well, because they're now starting to see some of the first teamers come in and seeing the way how they go about training. Obviously, they got one or two of the other boys in there, but these boys coming back is really good because the standards are high, quality. Guardiola, it's interesting because he come in, he's a centre back, and when he plays left back, you think, has he played left back his whole life? Yeah. He just sort of makes the position his own in terms of he does the first thing first. It stops the wide player from taking him on and defends right, but then he imposes his game and moves forward. Technically really good, and also now starting to add goals to his game as a fullback. I think it was Shaun Wright that said on one of the programs that he's actually got a really good shot, and I think we all see it, and I think it's the opposition's goalkeeper that don't realize it. But these boys have come back, and it's good because I'm intrigued to see how Pep utilizes players. We come back at different levels, and every I don't know 3-4 days there's probably another player that comes in, and how he integrates them. And again, we know how long the season can be. So I think this is going to be a challenging season for Pep and his team to make sure they utilize the players in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, Mateo Kovacic, we saw him a second ago. I double took there that it was him. I don't know if he's shaved or he's done something different, but he looks fresh. Can you see him?
Where has he gone?
Where's he gone? We'll see him in a second. Or maybe, do you know what? We might have all been looking at him and you might not have recognised him because he looks fresh. So hopefully he's had a good break. I've built this up now, haven't it? You're all going to see him and go, no, he looks exactly the same. He should come in on the right-hand side.
Where he is, just come on the right-hand side. He's in the middle now.
Hold on. Oh, is he?
That's Josko.
Guardiola, sorry. Oh, sorry, yeah.
He's there at the back. He's there at the...
Yeah.
I had not recognised him.
Hold on, he's just through the middle, right at the back, through the...
Where are you, Matteo?
He said, see, none of us can see him because he looks so fresh. You'll have to just believe
So can
me.
you imagine trying to mark him in midfield? Hey? You can't. Hey, the
There he
opposition.
is, right. No, that's not him, that's Calvin Phillips.
I can't see him there at all. Where is he?
The opposition's like, I'm trying to find him. I can't find him.
This is some new tactic we're waiting here, isn't it? Like, it's chaos, but it's Pep. It's got to keep Pep at the club.
As soon as I mentioned him there, he disappeared. He's just absolutely ruined
He's going
me
to
there.
ghost into the box and get tapping, and no one notice him in a minute.
But what I love about him, I mean, he came in and the thing was, you know, could he replace? His name's got on my mind now. Gundogan. Could he? But he's coming.
You've forgotten
I know.
Gundogan,
So
Shaun.
apologies there, but
Doors
he's
over there, Shaun.
Yeah. But he's coming in his own way and been just as good. You know, no, he doesn't score as many goals. He's a different type of midfielder. But again, I remember watching the first couple of games, and I just thought it's just though he's been at City his whole career, just fitted in like a glove. And because his quality is maintaining the ball, keeping the ball, and he just fits in like a glove.
I completely agree. And I said that so many times when we were watching your Match Day Live last year, the way that he'd effortlessly, and there we go, I said it this time, he just fit in, he just slotted in. It was like, there we go. Do you see?
So on the
there
right
he is, orange bib.
Right in the middle.
Right
He looks
orange bib.
different, doesn't he?
He does. He's grown his hair a bit. Yeah. He's grown his hair out a bit, hasn't
That
he?
might be it.
Yeah.
I think he looks fresh.
Young Jacob Wright learning from him. You know, what a person to learn from.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a great point as well, to have an extra two of the, you know, I mean, and that man has won, what, 4 Champions Leagues?
Yeah,
to have him now there training with the young players is incredible.
I was actually thinking about Josko as well there, because you think about, you know, the young left-backs we've got Josh and Wilson Esbrand, and then he obviously is a young player with a bit of experience, but then ahead of him, you'd have maybe Callum Doyle, who's had loads of loan experience in the Championship and in promotion-winning sides. And then Callum might feel like, I've got more experience than Josh, potentially. But then Josko Guardiola turns up, you know, a man who's even, like, better and, you know, so much more experienced despite being a similar age. And I think the beauty of that is, you know, everyone is constantly reminded of the levels that they have to aspire to, you know, to get there, because, you know, there's some great midfielders there, senior ones, you know, but Rodri isn't there currently. So you've got people like Jacob Wright and Mohamedou Sissoko trying to learn from the experts, you know, and then Kovacic turns up, and as, you know, as great as they are, that is the standard, and they see that.
Absolutely, completely agree. So we're going to go back over now live to New York, where FG has eventually found the wonderful Shaun Wright-Phillips. They are pitchside now watching the live training.
QFG.
Yes, thank you very, very much. Welcome back to the New York City training ground, joined by Manchester City legend Shaun Wright-Phillips. Where were you, mate? You missed the start.
It was never late. I was just in the shade, hiding from the sun a little bit. But no, yeah, the boys are out in that second part of training now. Well, second phase.
Yeah, he just went to do some discovering around the CFA. Let's have a quick word on what we can see behind us. This is exactly like the CFA in Manchester.
The baby version, right?
It's sensational.
It's
Look
wicked.
at the surface there as well.
Honestly, it's a wicked training ground. Like, I was surprised with it. They've done it really, really well, and the players here are lucky to even have it. Like,
I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Of course, Kovacic is back. Josko Guardiola back. Spirits have been great here in New York. What have we got up to, Shaun?
I've done a lot of stuff, especially today. We did some stuff in the community at Soul 5. Us and AC Milan, a joint little venture, which was really cool. Got to meet a legend, Baresi.
Franco Baresi.
There you go. So we've done a lot. In North Carolina, it was pretty cool as well. It was completely different to here, of course, but the stages and the progress is going well. And to have Kova back, and obviously Josko, is beautiful. Like, now they're going to be getting into that stage where they might play 45 minutes on tomorrow, and hopefully that's the step, and we just need to get through that with no injuries again.
We did say actually that players would play 45 minutes in the first game and didn't end up playing that. I mean, I can see a very, very special guest joining us now. It's none other than New York City's manager, Nick Whitting. Welcome, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. We were just speaking actually about how we thought pre-season was definitely 45 minutes each half, and then we saw Oscar and Rico play 90 minutes. As a manager, and of course, as part of a former Manchester City women's manager, tell us all the secrets. What can we expect for tomorrow?
Well, listen, I think you do try and, you know, get the loading right, and you do try and expose them slowly, but these guys are super dialed in, right? So if they're ready, they're ready.
Let's have a word on these amazing facilities and the job you're doing here as well. How's it been so far?
Yeah, you know, it's is a different league. I came obviously over from Europe in 2020, came as assistant coach, now head coach. A lot of travel involved, different climates, you know, different time zones. So, but the league is growing, right? So it's a really good challenge.
And Shaun, I mean, you were here in New York playing, albeit for the other side in New York. The travelling, like he just said, talk us through that.
I don't mind travelling, do I? I'm a man that would just bring gadgets with me. So when we was there, I'd just have a Nintendo Switch. We used to just have Mario Kart on it, and we'd all just kind of just link up, and it used to get us through it. But some people and some players have find that part hard to deal with. I just got on with it.
But I think you were in the league when it was commercial flights, right? Since I've been here, we're all charter. So
see, you're lucky.
Because of COVID, we went charter. We don't do the commercial.
And you stay charter now.
And we stayed charter.
That's good. So. I think that's something they needed, to be honest, because the players just needed a little bit of room, downtime and stuff. And when I used to do it, they used to give some players the business class seats and other players the economy.
Was that based on whether you played well, or was it just?
And I think it just went with age.
The oldest ones were in business class, right? Let's continue talking about the project that you're involved in here at New York. I mean, we've been here for a few days, and it's pretty special to see the growth of everything that's going on with New York City. How have you seen in your time here the growth?
Yeah, I mean, simple things like the charter flights. The league is continuing to grow. Obviously, you know, we've got a lot of young talent within the league now, which is definitely helping. Obviously, there's still some other guys coming in. Obviously, you see over in Miami what those guys are doing, you know, bringing talent across, and the crowds are growing. And, you know, for us as a football club, we're growing our team, we're developing as a team. You can see, you know, the stadium is coming, so real exciting times here.
Exciting times, and you've got a very exciting game coming up as well. A massive, massive game. We spoke to a few of the players before. They all seem really, really excited for it. How have you guys prepared for that?
Well, I think it shows the growth of the league, right? Is to, you know, we break for the league, we play the League's Cup, we play across with League MX, and we're going to play Querétaro. We are playing a team we're not so, you know, we don't know so much about them. We played Atlas last year, Pumas the year before, so we have played these type of games, but you know, it brings a different style to the league. It's a different challenge, and a trophy, you know, is another trophy to win.
The players just seem really, really hungry when I was speaking to them, Shaun. When you're involved in a cup competition and you know about how much expectation there is around it, is that just added motivation in itself?
It's excitement. I think it being new as well, the more it grows, the more history there will be behind it, the more the younger kids coming up want to play in it. It's a bit like us lot with the FA Cup and at the time the Carling Cup, but it's now the Carabao Cup. You always dream of playing in these tournaments and hopefully being able to win them, and now they've got a chance to actually do that. So it doesn't surprise me that they're that excited, but it will show in their game because they will want to win it. They'll work harder. It's like a natural thing. It's like a cut bug that you can just do things with.
And of course, Man City are in town. They got attacked by a bat rifles. What was that? We have to get used to that.
I was going to say something.
I could hear the buzzing, and I saw both your eyes sort of go.
Have that clip.
Right, anyway, back to normal. I know everyone in the studio is going to be laughing at that. Pep's here, Manchester City are here. Have you had much chance to catch up with him so far?
Yeah, I just, you know, got 10 minutes with the boss then, and I said to him, it's really interesting because 5 of these guys I had at 5 years old. Micah Hamilton, Callum Doyle, Nico Riley, James McAtee. I had these guys at 5. So to see them now with the first team is and playing so well is you know, is incredible. It shows the good work we're doing as an organisation, as a football club.
How did that make you feel seeing them? Because you basically played a part of that journey. So you're to thank in many ways as well?
Yeah, you're proud, right? I think across, you know, I say a lot here. I've done so many jobs in our organisation. There's not many jobs I haven't done in this organisation, from the under-5s to the under-12s to the women's team to now New York. To see the progress that we're making, and listen, I play a small part. We have amazing people in our organisation, and you know, I think when we put our homegrowns, when we put our own players on the pitch, we should all be proud of that achievement.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I think you're doing an absolutely fantastic job, and you did a brilliant job as well for the women's team. They've grown so much, especially in the last 12 months. We've seen the stadium called the Joy Stadium now. They're going on tour to Australia soon. There's one player who retired at the end of last season, an absolute legend, a matchday live legend, a footballing legend, Steph Horton. I want to get your thoughts on what she achieved in the game.
If we're going to talk about Steph, we need the whole hour. I couldn't say enough good things about Steph. She was my captain. She is a leader, an absolute warrior on the pitch. Obviously super talented as well, but we're going to have to fill that gap, right? Because not only on the field, but off the field, she is an absolute superstar and someone that I keep in contact with still. And she had an amazing career.
I think we all tried to make her carry on playing, didn't we? Because it's just such a joy to have someone like Steph involved in the game.
Yeah, most definitely, but I'm actually looking forward to her new chapter because the dream team will be back from the Champions League and I'll be working with her a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be seeing a lot more of Steph on Match Day Live. She's also getting involved in the coaching, so maybe you guys could collaborate at some point. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you go because we know it's super busy here whilst I was getting attacked by wasps. What a nice man. Listen, we need to address quickly the press conference from Pep.
Yes.
We've heard some things from Pep recently. Nat said it at the intro of the show. She hopes this one is as good as the last one. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say I think it's better because he said he wants to be in charge of the Club World Cup. And by my sources, which is just solely me, that would mean beyond his end of his contract.
Well, everyone's delighted to hear that, including me, but I never visioned him leaving anyway. I think he loves the club too much and the club loves him back. So it's like, it's romance, isn't it? Like, you've got to keep the romance going. No one wants to break anything up yet.
That was really, really motivating, Shaun. Thank you. We also heard from Erling Haaland. He's always in a great mood. He seems super, super confident. We saw him score in the first friendly. That summer break he had, how important do you think that was for him?
They can be good, but at the same time, when you haven't played for that long and everyone's playing, you can get kind of eager. And me and Jolien spoke to him before, and he said, I just couldn't wait to get back. Like, he just felt like he was not playing for too long, sort of thing. So that's a good sign because we're going to see that come out in the season, which is perfect.
And he was chopping wood in the summer and he was meditating. Is that something you would do in your summer breaks?
I don't think I'm strong enough to chop wood. And normally everything's going to be up here, so my swing is going to be too low, but I can't generate enough force, can I?
You can see the players training behind us now. It's getting a little bit more high tempo. I mean, it's all changed now, hasn't it? Because we've noticed that in the training session, we noticed in the last one that it's sort of like positional play. Now, we said, like, if we're playing in situations like this, you get, the amateur footballers running around, like, going all over the place. And even you were covering a lot more ground as well when you were training. But this is a lot more organised, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the way the club play. It's the way City play, the way he wants them to play. And to play like that in a match, you have to replicate that on the training pitch, like, on a daily basis. And it lets your players know exactly where your teammates are meant to be. So sometimes you don't have to look because it's so drilled into you. You can pass it there because that's where that person should be, and so on and so on. So I think that the training is good. I just know one thing. My pre-season, I just remember running 45 minutes, break, then another 45, then lunch, then come back out and do more running for like 2 weeks.
What, so you didn't kick a ball for 2 weeks?
Pretty much not properly, no. We didn't shoot or anything, just normally passing and little dribbles with the ball, but that's about it.
Little dribbles with the ball, he said. Look, the players here, a lot of them are young players. That a lot of them were sort of chucked into the deep end against a Celtic side that have played loads and loads of games. I mean, are we expecting them to be a lot more clued up after that experience?
Well, I think as a young player sometimes you need that reality check. That's grounded them. Like, some of them wouldn't have played against people as big as them or as strong as them or as quick as them. Normally they're like Nico, for example, he's a big chap. So now he's played against men. So I think it's a good lesson learned, and they got to take a lot from that, I think, in terms of they got to take the positives. Okay, we lost, but no one got injured. They played against a team that's in the Champions League, and they only lost 4-3. There's a lot of positives out of that game for me to take.
And of course, there's two more senior players who are joining us, Josko Vardiol and Mateo Kovacic. Like I said, I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to ask you for your minute prediction. How long do you think Mateo Kovacic and Josko Vardiol are going to play?
45 minutes.
I was trying to make him change, but you can never, ever change him. On that note, we'll head back to the studio. Absolute legend Shaun Goater in the studio, Natalie Pike and Stephen as well. So I hope you're all having a great time in Manchester, and we will see you tomorrow.
We certainly are. Thank you so much to FG and to Shaun Wright-Phillips. I had an image in my head there of Shawnee Wright trying to meditate, and I can't imagine that man sitting still and being quiet for more than a couple of minutes.
I've got it in my head now.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. It's staying there.
Yeah, it's wonderful, yes. I might meditate on that, actually, next time. But lovely to hear from FG and to Shaun Wright-Phillips there, and to continue to see the training going on. And they were speaking to Nick Cushing there as well.
Yes, Nick obviously was involved in the women's team for a number of years, and then it's going over to America. doing a great job. I'm sure he's in terms of for him and his development as a coach, I think it's probably been a great experience for him because as a team, the New York City team about to play a Mexican team, that in itself throws up a whole different way of playing, a style of playing. They'll have technically really good players that'll probably want to play the city way, if you like, little short, quick, nippy players, also intelligent. So I think that's probably good for his experience, good hearing his voice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the throwback there, and obviously the mention of our Steph as well. We love our Steph. Right, let's look ahead because, of course, the City are in New York ahead of the game with AC Milan. You can get that game on City Plus in a lot of countries. It's worth checking the website, though, to double-check how you can watch it in your country, but certainly in the UK, the only place to get it is on City Plus. AC Milan, 7 Champions League, European Cup trophies, the second most in history. They're a serious legendary club.
Put it this way, if you were asked to list a bunch of iconic football teams, they are on that list. AC Milan, everyone, you grow up and you know red and black is AC Milan. That's what it is, they're iconic. And it shows once again how far this club has come to be able to play a team of that magnitude and that respect in New York, at the home of this wonderful club as part of the City Football Group. It's absolutely ridiculous when you say it out loud, and it's going to be another great test for these young players as well. They'll be excited to play AC Milan, because that's what you dream of as a child, to play against teams of that size and that respect. And yeah, I can't wait.
So in terms of AC Milan, they finished second last year in Serie A. They had 75 points, but they ended up, despite finishing second, they were 19 points behind the winners, Inter Milan, which meant that the manager did get the sack at the end of the season. And they have a new manager, Paulo Fonseca. So he took over in June, and he previously managed Roma, Lille and Porto. So my research earlier told me. I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie to you all. New manager, though, Shaun. So how important is pre-season to a new manager?
Oh, it's huge because he gets to set down his rules, his understanding, his game model, how he wants them to play. He gets to put the ideas into the players. This is how he wants to play, whether it's building up from the back or whether it's being defensive and being a low-block team. And if I recall Fonseca, I remember him being a forward, an attacking player. Really good attacking player. So I would imagine that he'll be a more offensive coach, a coach that will want his team to attack more, and at the same time. So it's kind of odd because we typically think about Italian teams as being defensive first and then being able to attack. So it'll be interesting knowing him as a forward. How will he have that balance, getting that balance right of wanting to make sure they attack well, but also that balance of the Italian way of making sure that they're solid at the back. But be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I bet the AC Milan fans are super excited about the game as well, to see what sort of new style they're going to be playing. They've already had one pre-season game, Stephen. Yeah. They played Rapid Vienna at Rapid Vienna. It was a draw. They came to America in the last couple of days. They have us, and then they have 2 other games after us as well. So it feels like they're at a similar stage to we are in pre-season, unlike when obviously we knew Celtic had a good 3 or 4 games and had the whole squad back. It feels like they are in a similar place to us.
Yeah, and I think they're in a similar place in terms of the squad status as well. They've got a lot of players that aren't fully back. People like Rafael Leao is obviously an absolute superstar, but they've still got quality there. They've got obviously players that a lot of English fans will be familiar with, like Loftus-Cheek and Tomori, of course, of Chelsea heritage, and Benacer is a really good player. They've got a lot of quality there. He'll be using this game as a springboard, to try new things. And I'm expecting, as a result of that, the brilliance of the pre-season is that those new ideas, they're hard to put into place. It makes for entertaining football. It's going to be open. There'll be chances. There'll be goals, and there'll be an awful lot of fun. And this is why I love pre-season. Going back to the start of the show, because you see all these new ideas, you see all these possibilities, and it's exactly the same for AC Milan fans right now. They'll be looking at this in the same way that we're looking at Man City. Like, what's it going to be like this season?
In terms of the City team, similar team to the Celtic game, do you think, Shaun? 14 academy players, perhaps. Obviously, Gvardiol and Kovacic in. Are you expecting lots of rotation again?
Yeah, I think at this stage of pre-season, it's about can players get their 45 minutes? Can you get no injuries? Can they start to understand what Pep is asking? We're seeing her in some of the clips. He's been working on a bit of pressing and how they press out of possession, how they'll win the ball back, and it looks like they're doing a little bit of a build-up now in these couple of clips. And how they'll build up. So I think the players, once they get an understanding of that, they should be right for it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. Really looking forward to it. Thank you both for being here tonight. Stephen, thank you so much. As always, thank you. And thank you, Goat. We're looking forward to hopefully seeing you on the sofa lots and lots this season. Always my Goat. Always my Goat. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. So tomorrow, AC Milan. It is an 11 p.m. UK kickoff time. So check wherever you are in the world for your kickoff time. It's on City Plus, but get onto the website because there's an article on there that will tell you exactly how you can watch it in your country, but certainly in the UK and a lot of other countries, City Plus to get the full game. I will be here in the studio tomorrow with David James and Keith Curl. We'll be on from just before 10 p.m. doing our full normal Matchday Live show before the game, half-time and full-time as well. And I cannot wait. That is my first Matchday Live of hopefully, like Erling was saying, maybe 60, not 70 for me, but 70, maybe 60. That'd be great. We'd absolutely love that. So thank you very much for joining us on PitchSide Live tonight. We will see you tomorrow.
What do you think? I love to play.
Well, the city is so cheap. Oh my God. Why is it so expensive everything here?
Yeah, I played with Erling in the under-21 national team of Norway, so I have some games with him, and yeah, I'm really happy to see him again and see how he's developed.
Man City are in town. They got attacked by a bat like once. What was that? We have to get used to that.
I was going to say something.
I could hear the buzzing, and I saw both your eyes sort of go.
I have that clip.
We are ready to do it all again. There'll be many ups and downs between now and May, but this is where the journey all begins.
Celtic are champions of Scotland again!
You were handpicking two teams who you felt could put on a footballing show. It would be City and Barcelona. Here is Alvarez. Haaland! That is a terrific move from City. Sterling scores!